Renowned for his stoic demeanor and robust physique, Charles Bronson, synonymous with action cinema, emerged as the perfect fit for the role of Paul Kersey in Death Wish. This marked a pivotal moment, propelling him to unparalleled success throughout a career spanning more than 3 decades. Beyond his acclaimed acting prowess, Bronson remains enigmatic, concealing a trove of secrets within his personal life. 2 decades since his passing, his children are now unveiling long-buried truths. Don't overlook this opportunity to uncover the mysteries. Charles Bronson harbored anxiety about a seemingly trivial matter. Charles Bronson, the iconic tough guy of the silver screen, was, in reality, a man with his own set of fears and anxieties that contrasted sharply with his on-screen persona. Despite his fearless portrayal of gritty characters in movies, Bronson harbored genuine fears, particularly a phobia of germs that persisted throughout his life. One peculiar aspect of Bronson's life was his aversion to physical contact, especially with his fans. Unlike the typical interaction between celebrities and their admirers, Bronson never shook hands with his fans. While some interpreted this behavior as a manifestation of a distant or starry attitude, it was, in fact, rooted in Bronson's intense fear of germs. For him, each handshake was a potential encounter with unseen pathogens, leading him to avoid this seemingly simple and customary social gesture. This fear of germs was just one facet of Bronson's irrational anxieties. Another notable fear that gripped him was a phobia of fire. This fear became particularly evident during the filming of Death Wish in 1974. It is said that Bronson adamantly refused to occupy any rooms above the 2nd floor in the hotel where the film crew was staying. The reason behind this seemingly eccentric choice was Bronson's fear that, in the event of a fire, he and his family would be left with no means of escape from a higher floor. This seemingly incongruent vulnerability added a layer of complexity to Bronson's public image. While he projected an image of unyielding toughness on screen and off screen, he grappled with fears that many might consider trivial or irrational. It humanized him in a way that diverged from the macho characters he portrayed, showcasing the contrast between the actor's on-screen persona and his private, more vulnerable self. Charles Bronson used an alias for his stage name. Charles Bronson, originally born Charles Dennis Bukinski, led a significant part of his life under this name, particularly during his early career in Hollywood. In the initial stages of his acting journey, film credits prominently featured him as Charles Dennis Bukinski. However, as fate would have it, a pivotal moment came when he decided to adopt the iconic moniker Charles Bronson, a name that would resonate throughout cinematic history. The catalyst for this change occurred when Bronson's close friend and fellow actor, Steve McQueen, suggested the switch. McQueen, recognizing the importance of a catchy and memorable screen name, believed that Bronson held a unique appeal. This recommendation came at a time when the entertainment industry, particularly Hollywood, was grappling with the pervasive influence of McCarthyism. Charles understood the challenges posed by his Lithuanian-sounding last name in an environment where anti-communist sentiments ran high. Securing roles and advancing his career with a name that inadvertently associated him with communism proved to be an arduous task. Motivated by both professional aspirations and the need to navigate the political climate of the era, Charles contemplated altering his last name. The turning point came during a casual outing with Steve McQueen as the two friends were enjoying a ride. It was during this excursion that McQueen spotted a street sign bearing the name Bronson. Recognizing the cinematic potential of this name, McQueen enthusiastically suggested it to Charles. Convinced by McQueen's insight, Charles Dennis Bukinski embraced the new identity, forever becoming known as Charles Bronson. Interestingly, the decision to change names wasn't exclusive to Charles and his family. His father, Valteris P. Bucinskis, had also undergone a similar transformation, opting for the name Walter Bukinski to sound more American. This familial adaptation to Americanized names reflects not only a desire for assimilation, but also an acknowledgement of the cultural and social dynamics at play during that period. He initiated smoking at the age of 9. The revelation that Charles Bronson, a prominent figure of the 1950s Hollywood era, began smoking at the tender age of 9 adds a poignant layer to the narrative of his life. In an era when smoking was almost ubiquitous among leading actors, the shocking detail of Bronson's early initiation into this habit unveils a somber aspect of his challenging upbringing. Bronson's early introduction to smoking remains shrouded in mystery, with no concrete information about the catalyst for this habit. However, many speculate that the harsh realities of his impoverished childhood might have played a pivotal role. Born as the 11th child among 15 siblings, Bronson's family struggled profoundly to make ends meet. The dire financial circumstances were such that, at times, he had to resort to wearing his sister's clothes to school, a stark symbol of the family's economic hardships. At the age of 10, Bronson's academic journey came to an early end as he joined his father in the grueling environment of a coal mine. The coal mining job demanded long hours of arduous labor in conditions that could only be described as subhuman. It was within this harsh backdrop that Bronson, facing the challenges of a strenuous job and the harsh realities of poverty, turned to smoking. For him, tobacco use may have served as a coping mechanism, a respite from the harshness of his surroundings, and a way to maintain a semblance of sanity amidst the difficulties he faced. Tragically, the habit that may have provided solace in his earlier years became Bronson's bane in the end. His lifelong association with smoking took a devastating toll on his health, culminating in metastatic lung cancer, which ultimately claimed his life. This poignant arc underscores the interplay between Bronson's challenging upbringing, the coping mechanisms he adopted, and the unintended consequences that unfolded over the course of his life. He enlisted in the United States Army Air Forces in World War II. Charles Bronson's journey from the coal mines to the front lines of World War II is a testament to his resilience and valor. Having toiled in the challenging conditions of coal mines for nearly 12 years, Bronson's life took a dramatic turn when, at the age of 22, he enlisted in the United States Army Air Forces. His service during World War II placed him in the midst of historic events, showcasing his commitment to his country. Initially assigned to the 760th Gunnery Training Squadron, Bronson swiftly demonstrated his skills and dedication. In 1945, he achieved the rank of a Boeing B-29, Superfortress Aerial Gunner, a crucial role that involved operating defensive weaponry on one of the most iconic aircraft of the era. As a member of the Guambacid 61st Bombardment Squadron, Bronson found himself at the forefront of the Pacific Theater, engaging in intense and perilous aerial warfare against the Japanese. Over the course of his military service, he participated in a remarkable 25 missions, each fraught with danger and uncertainty. The toll of war was not lost on Bronson. During the course of his duties, he suffered multiple wounds, a testament to the harsh realities of combat. For his bravery and sacrifices, Bronson was rightfully honored with the Purple Heart, an emblem of his courage and dedication in the face of adversity. The Purple Heart, awarded to those wounded or killed in action, symbolized the physical and emotional toll that Bronson endured during his wartime service. It also stood as a tangible acknowledgement of his contributions to the war effort and the sacrifices he made in service to his country. He shared a residence with Jack Klugman during his challenging times. The connection between Charles Bronson and Jack Klugman extends beyond their respective iconic roles in Death Wish and The Odd Couple. Long before their individual rises to fame, the two actors shared a unique bond as struggling artists navigating the challenges of post-World War II New York City. After the conclusion of World War II, Charles Bronson, seeking opportunities in the world of acting, made his way to the bustling city of New York. In the pursuit of their dreams, Bronson and Jack Klugman found themselves sharing an apartment during these early years of their careers. This shared living arrangement offered them not only financial support, but also a camaraderie born out of the shared struggle to make a mark in the competitive world of show business. The living situation changed when Charles Bronson decided to tie the knot with his first wife, Harriet Tendler. As marriage brought new chapters and responsibilities into Bronson's life, he moved out of the apartment he had shared with Klugman. Despite the parting of ways, the bond forged during their time as roommates left a lasting impression on both actors. In a retrospective interview given much later, Jack Klugman fondly remembered Charles Bronson as not only a good roommate, but also an unexpectedly skilled ironer. This anecdote offers a glimpse into the everyday moments of camaraderie that defined their early struggles. The image of Bronson, known for his tough guy persona on screen, showcasing his domestic skills in ironing, adds a touch of humor and humanity to the narrative of their shared history. He attained prominence as a leading film figure in Europe. Charles Bronson's journey to international stardom reflects a tale of delayed recognition in the United States and a flourishing career that found its roots in Europe. While he had gained some fame in the U.S., primarily through supporting roles, it was in Europe that he truly emerged as a major movie star. Bronson's foray into European cinema began with the 1968 film Adieu l'ami, Farewell Friend. At the time, despite his rising profile in the United States, he was still predominantly cast in supporting roles. Initially hesitant about accepting the European project, Bronson's perspective changed when the producer conveyed a crucial distinction. In the American film industry, the emphasis often lay on physical appearance, but in Europe, the focus shifted towards the depth of character. This insight prompted Bronson to embrace the opportunity, marking a pivotal moment in his career. Adieu l'ami proved to be a massive success, setting the stage for Bronson's collaboration with legendary director Sergio Leone in the iconic film Once Upon a Time in the West. Leone, impressed by Bronson's talent and presence on screen, hailed him as one of the greatest actors he had ever worked with. The film, released in 1968, further solidified Bronson's status as a bona fide international movie star. In 1970, Bronson continued his success in Europe with Rider on the Rain, a film that garnered critical acclaim and won a Golden Globe. This continued recognition reflected the actor's ability to transcend cultural boundaries and resonate with audiences on a global scale. His formative years left lasting emotional wounds. Charles Bronson's on-screen persona, characterized by a monosyllabic tone, stoicism, and an aura of toughness, was more than just a crafted performance. It was deeply rooted in the hardships of his formative years. Bronson's demeanor, often described as introverted and reserved, bore the indelible imprint of the deprivation he endured during his childhood. In a 1973 profile, a newspaper shed light on Bronson's intensely private nature. The actor, known for projecting a tough exterior on screen, found it challenging to watch his own movies or engage in interviews. This aversion to self-promotion was a manifestation of his innate introversion, a trait that he carried with him throughout his life. Film critic Roger Ebert delved deeper into the enigmatic personality of Charles Bronson in a 1974 profile. Ebert astutely noted that Bronson's real-life demeanor closely mirrored the characters he portrayed on screen. During the interview, Bronson disclosed to Ebert that he derived more enjoyment from being entertained by his own thoughts than engaging in extensive conversation with others. This inclination toward introspection over verbal expression became a defining aspect of his personality. Critics and observers speculated that Bronson's reserved and reticent nature was not solely a product of his early childhood memories, but also a response to the perceived lack of recognition of his true potential by the United States. Despite his undeniable talent and contributions to the film industry, some believed that Bronson felt overlooked or underestimated, contributing to a sense of detachment from public scrutiny. The struggles that marked Bronson's journey, from his challenging childhood to the delayed recognition of his talents, became the crucible in which his reserved and introverted demeanor was forged. While his performances on screen were powerful and often emblematic of unyielding toughness, the man behind the characters remained elusive, a complex blend of introspection and guarded emotion. Bronson was not the initial preference of the director for Death Wish. Charles Bronson's career reached its zenith with his most iconic role at the age of 52, a role that would forever define his legacy in Hollywood. The turning point came when director Michael Winner offered Bronson the lead role in Death Wish. This film catapulted Bronson into the limelight and became a cultural phenomenon. In Death Wish, Bronson portrayed Paul Kersey, a New York architect whose life takes a tragic turn when he loses his wife to a brutal attack. Fueled by a sense of justice and revenge, Kersey transforms into a vigilante crime fighter. The film was adapted from Brian Garfield's novel of the same name and struck a chord with audiences around the world. Despite its eventual success, it's fascinating to note that Charles Bronson wasn't the director's initial choice for the role. Michael Winner originally envisioned Henry Fonda as the protagonist. However, Fonda, upon reviewing the script, found it repulsive and declined the offer. This unexpected turn of events opened the door for Bronson to step into the shoes of Paul Kersey. Bronson, upon reading the script, felt an immediate connection with the material and the character. His acceptance of the role was swift and enthusiastic. Little did he know that this decision would shape the trajectory of his career and contribute significantly to the cinematic landscape. Death Wish was a massive hit at the box office, earning a staggering $22 million. The film's success was not confined to financial gains. It also established Charles Bronson as a bona fide action star. The popularity of Death Wish went beyond the initial installment, spawning 4 sequels, all of which featured Bronson reprising his role as the avenging vigilante. He acquired English independently. Charles Bronson's linguistic journey reflects not only the diversity of his upbringing, but also his determination to overcome language barriers. Born to parents hailing from southern Lithuania, the Buczynski household primarily conversed in Lithuanian rather than English. The family's linguistic background set the stage for a unique cultural environment, where Lithuanian remained the dominant language. Remarkably, the school Bronson attended mirrored the multilingual landscape of his home. In a community where many children, including those of Lithuanian descent like Bronson, did not speak English, language was not a hindrance during his early school days. The shared linguistic background of the students fostered an environment where Lithuanian was a common thread that connected them all. However, the trajectory of Bronson's linguistic journey took a distinctive turn as he embarked on a path of self-learning. Despite the absence of language-related challenges in his early education, Bronson took it upon himself to master English independently. This self-directed learning process resulted in a distinct and thick accent, a characteristic feature that would later become a point of contention during his military service in the Air Force. During his years in the Air Force, Bronson's pronounced accent became a source of confusion among his comrades. His fellow servicemen often misconstrued his accent, leading them to believe that he hailed from a different country altogether. This misperception, born out of his distinctive way of speaking, added an additional layer of complexity to Bronson's military experience. Beyond his linguistic challenges, Charles Bronson's academic prowess shone through. Despite the hurdles posed by a non-English-speaking household, he emerged as a bright and determined student. In fact, he earned the distinction of being the first among the Buczynski siblings to graduate from high school, a testament to his intelligence and commitment to education. Notably, Bronson's linguistic repertoire extended beyond Lithuanian and English. In addition to his native languages, he showcased fluency in Russian and Greek, underscoring a broad cultural and linguistic proficiency that contributed to the richness of his personal background. He led a luxurious and abundant life. Charles Bronson's personal life was deeply intertwined with the story of his enduring love for Jill Ireland, a connection that spanned decades and weathered the challenges of Hollywood and life itself. Their journey began in 1962, when Bronson first crossed paths with Jill, who was then married to actor David McCallum. Legend has it that, upon meeting Jill, Bronson boldly predicted to McCallum that he would one day marry her. This prediction would indeed come true. On October 5, 1968, Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland exchanged vows, marking the beginning of a marriage that would endure until Jill's passing in 1990. The couple chose to make their home in a lavish Bel Air mansion in Los Angeles, where they raised a family that eventually comprised 7 children. The bond between Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland extended beyond their personal lives into their professional careers. Bronson, known for his tough guy roles, often included a unique condition in his projects that Jill would play his on-screen leading lady. This artistic collaboration resulted in the couple starring together in a total of 15 films, a testament to their desire to share both personal and professional aspects of their lives. As a family man, Bronson went to great lengths to keep his loved ones close. He often took Jill and their children with him on his travels, creating a sense of togetherness amidst the demands of a Hollywood career. Beyond their Los Angeles mansion, the couple owned a farmhouse named Zuleika Farm in West Windsor, Vermont. The name paid homage to their only daughter together, underscoring the familial significance of the property. During the late 80s and mid-90s, Bronson and his family spent considerable time in Snowmass, Colorado, where they could enjoy a different pace of life away from the Hollywood spotlight. These moments of retreat to Snowmass allowed Bronson to embrace a quieter, more serene side of life, away from the hustle and bustle of the entertainment industry. What do you think about Charles Bronson's hidden truths? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.